Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your co-host Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, guys?
This is now your 7th shoot wearing the Argentina jersey. 7 out of 10. I was wrong. Still on display. It's still the same jersey.
You get that in frame?
Yep. 7 out of 10. 70% of the way through. 30 more percent left. 3 out of 10 left. And then start playing out that trip, brother.
I'm low-key kind of getting used to wearing this now.
Like
it's almost like a uniform to go to work type of vibe.
Yeah.
Now that I know when we're going to have some sort of episode, I'm like, oh, well, I got to put on the Argentina jersey now. So once I get to that 11th episode, what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're just going to wear it again?
I might wear it again.
That'd be weird, bro. How psychologically?
It's completely psychological. I've been tricked.
Yeah.
I've been duped.
Liverpool played against Real Madrid today. Champions League, first leg. Round of 16 matchup between European giants Real Madrid, Liverpool, who at their time and in their day can be one of the most dangerous European sides, especially when they're hosting a match at Anfield. I myself am a proclaimed Liverpool fan, so I was very excited for this game, bro. Very excited, especially given that Liverpool going into it, 2-game winning streak, clean sheets, starting to look a little bit better versus what's been a tumultuous first half of the season. And Real Madrid too, man. Saw them lose against Mallorca. Saw them barely get a win against Osasuna this past weekend as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity for Liverpool to take advantage and grab a lead against Real Madrid at Anfield. Did you see the game, bro?
I did not. And I was at work.
Yeah,
what happened? I saw the scoreline and I saw how the goals went in. Have not seen the highlights. What the fuck happened, man?
Damn. What a fucking result. What a result, man. Honestly, throughout the peak of the game, super fucking entertaining. But game starts off, and it is classic. And I mean classic Liverpool for the first 20 minutes. I think by the turn of the 15th minute, Liverpool was already up 2-0 off of a beautiful Darwin Nunez wonder goal where he backheeled that ball in past Courtois. And then possibly the worst mistake I've seen Courtois make. Completely losing control of the ball when he received it. Mo Salah pouncing on it.
Dang.
And making it 2-0 like that.
Okay, nice.
So I immediately got my hopes up high. I was thinking, look, Real Madrid is going to have a remontada here. They're going to have to do a lot of work, and not just the next 90 minutes, but next 180 minutes. But, I mean, Real Madrid has such a calculated game plan, man. It's almost like they expected to go down like this at some point because little by little, they gained more possession of the ball. Little by little, they began chipping away at just opportunities, just kind of knocking on Liverpool's door until finally Vinicius Jr. has an incredible display of footwork in the box, still hounded on by like 3 different Liverpool players, finds that small gap that existed for him in that exact moment, and he fucking side nets it, bottom of the corner. It's 2-1. Real Madrid is still in the game. And then literally 5 minutes later, ball gets passed back to Alisson, and Alisson makes a huge critical mistake comparable to that of Thibaut Courtois. Passes it straight to Vinicius Jr., bounces off his leg, lobs its way back in. 2-2 tie by halftime. And just like that, the incredible 2-0 lead that Liverpool had was gone. And once that happened, it kind of just took the air out of Anfield because everyone knew how valuable that lead was, dude. To have that against Real Madrid, you have to make that has to be precious. That has to be valued. Yeah. And Liverpool ultimately just did not take advantage. They weren't secure enough at the back.
But 3 more goals, bro?
Yeah, man. After that, they completely lost control. And I think a lot of it obviously does come down to terrible defending. I think Joe Gomez had a pretty bad game himself. Beyond that, bro, the midfield got completely trampled by in this game. I'm talking about Henderson, Fabinho, and Basitic.
Yeah.
I think it's how you say his name. The 18-year-old Spaniard who has shown a lot of promise this season, has been a bright light for Liverpool. But in this specific game, man, I thought he was a little underwhelming in this game. I thought the stage might have been a little too big for him, despite the promise that he showed early in the season. And likewise, bro, Fabinho has dropped off of a fucking cliff dude. He can no longer keep up with players that are fast. He can no longer body up against talented midfielders, strong midfielders. He is not the same guy he was at Liverpool's peak. And to me, that's the most glaring and obvious thing of our midfield, paired up with Henderson, who can be solid in his role, but if he's asked to do anything beyond just, shielding the ball, handing it off, just being a solid midfielder, he can't do it, bro. Yeah. No flair. Really difficult to have quick exchanges with Jordan Henderson, and a lot of the times that's what the offense needs. So when that's really the best three options that Liverpool have, a young 18-year-old inexperienced midfielder, an aging defensive midfielder that doesn't have the wheels on him anymore, and a limited midfielder in Henderson, it makes a really bad matchup against Modric, Camavinga, and Valverde, and that's where I think the game was lost ultimately. They just couldn't stop scoring, bro. The moment Liverpool would go up and try to create an attack, try to create danger, Real Madrid was clinical, dude, in their ability to just take advantage of the fact that all our players were upfield, and they would just make something out of it on the other side. Yeah. And 3 goals back to back just like that. Yeah. And I know it's crazy to believe that because we saw them against Mallorca struggle to even get a fucking pass through in that final third. But now it's European royalty Real Madrid that stepped up, and it looked like the fucking champions of Europe once again, man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, man, is yes, they scored 5 goals and you're explaining how it all went down. I still can't see it. Because Madrid in the last couple games in La Liga, dude, as you just said, they have truly labored to even just get 1 goal. Once they do get it, then they see the game out and maybe they even get a second goal because their opponent tries to really take it to them. But to get that first goal, they have worked so hard to do it in La Liga. And again, as you just said, Mallorca actually got them on him, And to imagine Madrid scoring 5 goals right now, honestly, I won't take it away from him, but I do think it says more of the state of Liverpool this season, bro. What a horrible season they've had. Started off rocky. I feel like a lot of other people thought that they would figure it out, especially come like January or at least December timeframe. And I don't think they have. I mean, I don't think they have. They have not figured it out. But it's those same tropes of just no rejuvenation in the midfield, a tired, rugged-looking defense, and then maybe just a little bit of a worn-out offense with players like Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino, and then obviously the entire absence of a guy like Sadio Mane.
Luis Diaz
injured. Yeah, it's just been super, super tough on Liverpool this season. And so Madrid got the job done, but my God, what style, though? Again, that Champions League legacy to score 5 goals on the road?
Yeah, bro.
When you were down 2-0, you score 5 unanswered goals? Yeah. I guess only Madrid, and I shouldn't be surprised by that, but...
Only Madrid teams, bro, have been able to do it at Anfield because Atletico did it too.
God damn it.
It's kind of crazy how when... Like, the only way you can envision Liverpool losing at Anfield, it's like they either win a fucking game at Anfield, which they've done so many times, or they completely, like, almost choke. Because they did the same against Atletico, too, and Atletico went to Anfield and beat them as well. Yeah. It was the same type of energy, man, that I saw in this game where I was like, we're just not ourselves anymore. After they tie that game up 2-2, the momentum completely shifted, and it just seemed like it was 2 completely different sides playing against each other. A team that was completely high on confidence, Real Madrid, and a team that was questionable and hesitant in that second half in Liverpool. And it really fucking showed, man.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
Really crazy. I think I saw a stat that it's been like, this was going to sound insane, but I think it's been, actually, this is going to sound crazy. I don't know if it's true, that only Messi and Benzema have scored in 18 consecutive Champions League seasons. Something like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait, Benzema?
Benzema.
18?
Yeah, Messi and Benzema.
Bro, 18?
That's what I'm saying. I think that number maybe it's like 12, but it's somewhere in the teens for sure. Like for sure, but it's only them two.
Well, it would have to be 18 because that's where Ronaldo would essentially get canceled out. I think Ronaldo's like at 16 or 17 or
Okay, yeah.
18 would have to be the number. Or
nuts.
It'd be super fucking high.
Absolutely nuts, though. The consistency of those two players.
And that's the thing. Benzema hasn't even been the best Benzema this season.
He's been half injured the entire time.
2 goals today, man.
That's crazy.
And, oh, God, he did in Alisson on what I think was the 5th goal. Yeah. Completely did him in. Alisson had probably his worst game I've seen in a Liverpool jersey, which sucks because he's actually been great recently for us, saving us in a lot of games. He was terrible in this game. Terrible. Yeah. And it starts off with that error he had against Vinicius Jr. Yeah.
Shit.
But the state of Liverpool, I think, is just crazy for me to fathom as a fan, but also just from an outsider perspective of the fact that they were in contention for 4 trophies last season, man.
Yeah.
And now they're probably going to be knocked out of the Champions League, which leaves them with only the Prem and
That's
literally
done, man.
And that's not a title. No, the hope is top 4. That's what that's what the goal is now. There's a chance that Liverpool ends this season without a Champions League spot, which would be crazy. Doesn't feel right at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a repeated cycle of that really good Liverpool team in the mid to late 2000s, and then they fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
And it took them 7 years to even just get back to top 4 type of competition, with Klopp ultimately seeing out kind of his dynasty. And then it was good 4 or 5 years of really good success, and all of a sudden they've fallen off yet another cliff. I wonder what does happen though. Klopp, what's his vibe, man? Like, what's he thinking? He can't figure it out. Is it just get to the end of the season, take a break, relax, or is he thinking like, my job's on the line? Like, and I don't know. What do you do at that point?
Yeah, when they were up 2-0, he was looking like a genius, man.
Yeah,
I don't think it's on Klopp. I really don't. I know that there's a lot of heat directed towards the owners of Liverpool, because when you look at the elite of Europe and you look at the money that's spent. Granted, Liverpool just spent it was like 60-70 mil on Darwin Núñez, and 40 to 50 on Cody Gakpo. Still though, that's like 2 purchases in the last year in comparison to Chelsea, who made damn near 10 signings in the winter transfer window.
No, right.
When you compare Liverpool's spending ventures to other elite sides of Europe, it's not very close, man. I do think a lot of the failures they've seen this season come from the fact that the ownership, FSG, just hasn't been giving Klopp the financial backup, the financial assurance that he's needed to kind of keep the squad fresh and rejuvenated, as you said, just like Man City does, just like Arsenal has been able to this past offseason. They had an incredible big spending offseason back in the last summer as well. It takes a lot to keep a team at the top financially, and I just don't think FSG has been able to do that for Klopp.
And I just wonder, though, why did this midfield go so wrong? Why were there no true good signings, even if they were just engine type of midfielders, kind of like a Calvin Phillips when he was looking to get out of Leeds? Why didn't Liverpool jump on that shit? Or why not go for Bellingham, a player who's been having such good success at Dortmund, is still young and would love to come back to the Premier League? Like, why not be the team that brings him back? And the thing is, those 2 type of players would fit the style of Liverpool, especially during their peak, perfectly, man. And they haven't gotten anything. They're still relying on, as you've already said, Henderson, and then Fabinho, who's definitely just out of form. But then beyond that, they're relying on players who have consistently missed at least half of the season for the last couple years. Players like Naby Keita.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yes.
Same.
So if Klopp, as a coach, knows that, like, all right, my midfield's aging and half of my midfielders are always injured. Thiago, another good example, always injured. Why, especially this past offseason, why was he not like, all right, I want to invest in my midfield this season? But it's been nothing, man. And I don't get that. Is it Klopp's fault, or is it FSG maybe not seeing eye to eye with Klopp? Obviously, we never get that intel as fans. We just never get that. So this is pure speculation. But, man, it's been a really big failure for Liverpool.
Yeah. From what I gathered, it is from FSG that just hasn't given him that. Klopp has come out to the press and said that he just isn't getting the backing that he wished from the ownership. But even then, I wonder if he did, who would he go for? And the fact that they went for Cody Gakpo, couldn't that money have been used for an actual midfielder?
Yes.
That's the biggest problem. That just happened. So it does mean that there's a disconnect between the coach and the ownership group. And until that gets resolved, Klopp is going to be on a fucking thin line of success, man. He's going to have to become so efficient with his signings and making sure he gets the right players, because he just won't have the flexibility of like Graham Potter with Chelsea, who can just essentially buy whoever he wants and see it out.
That actually is interesting, man, because it's almost the curse of reaching top success in Europe and in the Premier League, because there comes a certain point where your ownership is like, all right, we're a big club now. We're making a lot more money. Now we want to act like a big club and get big names. Imagine the idea in the offseason. You hear the name Darwin Núñez. You're Liverpool, you're looking for a striker. It doesn't matter what Klopp wants. If he's free and he wants to come to Liverpool, the owners are going to be like, or whoever's in charge of the scouting is going to be like, we're getting Núñez. He had an incredible season last year in the Champions League with Benfica. We're a big club. We have the money to go for him. Even if he doesn't fit in the team, which can happen a lot if you're a big club, you just go for him because he's a big name. Gakpo, coming off of a really good World Cup, let's be completely honest, was the star for the Netherlands, and he was willing to leave the Dutch league to go to a much better league, and Liverpool were there. So why not? Luis Diaz had a good Champions League run with Porto when Liverpool got him. So it's almost... So I can see it definitely be frustrating if Klopp and the ownership just don't see eye to eye, because once you kind of reach a certain status, you have to maintain that status by getting big names. And it's kind of the same thing, low-key, that's happened with Atletico over these last couple years, man, because, you know, we're no longer getting players like Antoine Griezmann or Yannick Carrasco. Instead, we're going for players who are already big, and a perfect example is that Joao Felix. But when we got Griezmann, nobody knew who he was. Not a single person, unless you were a Real Sociedad fan or you were Spanish. Like, you lived in that country. You did not know who he was, but Atletico at the time were still building to be a really successful club, and they could have that flexibility of getting more low-key players. But after they reached that success in 2014 and 2016, due to players like Carrasco and Griezmann, then we started like, all right, we got to act like a bigger club now and only get just sort of more low-key big signings, like getting Thomas Lemar from Monaco after that really good run that they had in the Champions League, or like getting Joao Felix, who had a really good year for Benfica the prior year before we got him. And those are two big signings that honestly haven't worked out. Obviously, Felix is out on fucking loan right now, and Thomas Lemar is just so inconsistent for us, man. And so I think it just kind of exacerbates that problem. Like, once you reach a certain status, what do? You know, does the coach really have full say in the signings anymore? I have no idea. Maybe if you're at a club like Chelsea where they have unlimited money, but other than that, I think it can get tricky.